The NFHS is attempting to clean up actions of players who try to fool the officials into ruling fouls on plays where no illegal contact has occurred. A new definition has been created that includes actions such as overtly or egregiously embellishing incidental contact on block charge plays or attempted tries for goal, using a head bob to simulate contact, or using any other tactic to create an illusion of being fouled and gaining an advantage. The NFHS has approved a rules change that moves this provision from a player technical foul to a team warning. This team warning is a separate rule from the delay of game warnings outlined in Rule 4-47. This warning specifically addresses faking being fouled, otherwise known as and will be referred through the rest of this presentation as flopping, and is outlined in a new section in Rule 449. By making the initial penalty less severe, the NFHS hopes this will increase the likelihood that the infraction will be addressed. In years past, this infraction carried the penalty of a player technical foul, which was often seen as too severe, resulting in officials not penalizing the action. Since the initial infraction is now a team warning with no penalty, it gives players and coaches the opportunity to address the issue before being penalized. When a player commits a team's first flopping infraction, a warning is issued to the team. The warning is an administrative procedure by an official that is recorded in the scorebook by the scorer and reported to the head coach. After receiving an official warning for flopping, any subsequent flopping infractions by the same team results in a team technical foul. When an official sounds the whistle to stop play, they should use the appropriate stop the clock signal for the infraction that has occurred. Since a warning is issued for the first infraction, the stop the clock signal would be the open hand. Since a technical foul is charged for each subsequent infraction, the stop the clock signal would be the closed fist. It will be challenging to remember in a fourth quarter or late game situation involving a flop whether or not that same team had a flop warning earlier in the game. In that case, just make sure to stop the clock and don't get hung up on whether the hand was open or you had a closed fist. The official will always have the time to correctly communicate with the scores table. When a jump shooter flops after the release of a try, there is no team control when the infraction occurs. When this type of infraction occurs, the official should sound the whistle immediately, stop the clock appropriately, and then display the flopping signal. On the first infraction, if the try is successful, the goal counts. The official reports the warning to the scores table and the head coach. Play is resumed at the point of interruption, which is an inline throw-in for the opponents with the privilege of moving along the inline. If the try is unsuccessful on the first infraction, there is no team control, so the ball becomes dead when the try ends. The official reports the warning to the scores table and the head coach. The ball is awarded to the team entitled to the next throw-in under the alternating possession procedure. If the shooting team is awarded the throw-in, it is from the nearest of the 4 designated front court throw-in spots. If the defensive team is awarded the throw-in, it is a backcourt throw-in from the spot nearest to where the infraction occurred. For each subsequent infraction, a team technical foul is charged. The opponents are awarded 2 free throws plus a throw-in at the division line opposite the scores table. When a ball handler uses a tactic known as a head bob, the official should sound the whistle immediately, stopping the clock appropriately, and then displaying the flopping signal. For the first infraction, the official reports the warning to the scores table and the head coach. Play is resumed at the point of interruption. If the ball was in the front court when play was stopped, the throw-in is from one of the nearest 4 designated front court throw-in spots. If the ball was in the back court, the throw-in is from the nearest spot of the infraction. For each subsequent infraction, a team technical foul is charged and the opponents are awarded 2 free throws plus a throw-in at the division line opposite the scores table. One of the most common situations when flopping occurs during a drive to the basket when a defender in the lane area attempts to draw a player control foul on the shooter. When a defensive player flops when their opponents are in control of the ball, the officials will need to determine when to stop play so that the offensive team is not penalized for the defensive team's actions. For the first infraction, the flopping signal should be displayed as soon as the infraction occurs, even before the whistle, so both teams know what has occurred. The official withholds the whistle until the scoring opportunity concludes, which means the offensive team scores, which could include repeated tries for goal after offensive rebounds. The offense is no longer trying to score, or until the offending team gains control of the ball. When play is stopped, the official sounds the whistle and displays the flopping signal once again. The official then reports the warning to the scores table and the head coach. If a goal was scored, play resumes with a throw-in for the opponents with the privilege of moving along the end line. If no goal was scored, the game continues from the point of interruption. With each subsequent infraction, the flopping signal should be displayed as soon as the infraction occurs, even before the whistle, so both teams know what has occurred. The official withholds the whistle until the scoring opportunity concludes, which again means the offensive team scores, which could include repeated tries for goal after offensive rebounds. The offense is no longer trying to score, or until the offending team gains control of the ball. When play is stopped, the official sounds the whistle and displays the flopping signal once again. A team technical foul is charged to the offending team, and the opponents are awarded 2 free throws plus a throw-in at the division line opposite the scores table. When officials withhold the whistle to allow the offense to complete a play after a defensive flopping infraction, it is possible that another foul could occur, causing the play to stop. Penalties are administered in the order the fouls will be reported. The first foul reported is the foul that caused the stoppage in play. The second foul reported is the technical foul charged to the offending team for flopping. Let's finish by saying that flops don't happen as often as everyone thinks that they do. We need officials to be patient and assume a philosophy of erring on the side of not calling a flop warning or technical. In other words, the flop needs to be obvious and the player must egregiously embellish the contact. However, if we do have a flop on the offense, it needs to be called immediately. The offense does not get the benefit from committing a flop infraction. The defense is a lot more nuanced. If the defense flops, officials need to withhold the whistle until the scoring opportunity concludes or it hasn't begun. If the defense flop occurs 30, 60, 80 feet from the basket, stop play immediately and apply the warning or the technical. If the defense flops and the offense aborts the try for goal and kicks it out, meaning the scoring opportunity has concluded, officials will stop play and apply the warning or technical. If the defense flops while committing a blocking foul, meaning there was some contact during the try for goal, officials will call a defensive foul and not a flop. We will not call a defensive foul and a flop on the same play.